My name is Chad Weinstein, and I have the pleasure of directing the Leading for Life program in partnership with Care Providers of Minnesota. When we started this program 4 years ago, I was optimistic, and I had no idea how remarkable this experience would have been for me, frankly, and for the participants. Participants come together, they don't know one another, they are pulled together here for a monthly meeting and for an experience that lasts a full year. And in that year, they come to know one another, they become a network of friends, of allies. They find out things about themselves and one another that no one could have expected through the process of learning about leadership and applying that learning on an ongoing basis throughout a year.
I think it's made me more aware of myself. I think it's built my confidence in the job that I do. And I think I'm a little more courageous, actually.
I think that what I will take away from this program is to have more of a self-awareness. I think the program gives you a chance to do some self-reflection on what is leadership, how do you define leadership for yourself, what are those things where you could have some growing areas in, what are the things you do well in. And so it helps you network with people from different facilities, different systems, and so it gives you a chance to talk with your peers, to talk specifically about leadership, bringing resources in, and we've had speakers that have made us reflect upon ourselves and how we provide leadership to our staff, and again, those that are providing leadership for us. And so I think it helps me realize what impact and positive impact I can have on other individuals, and how to provide a better service, again, not only for residents but for staff members also.
It's made me a better listener. It's made me look at the bigger picture. I've always been a very black and white person, and this last year has really opened up that there are gray areas, and that you need to look at those gray areas too, and that there doesn't have to be a yes or no answer to a lot of situations. It's more of a coming to terms that maybe this is okay. It doesn't have to be this way. It's definitely a growth experience, and I don't think it matters if you're in your early 20s taking this leadership class or if you're in your 50s like I am. There's so much to learn for it if you're open to learning and to wanting to grow.
I think that this year-long experience with Leading for Life has been wonderful. It's been more than I could have asked. Being around this wonderful group of people that come from so many different settings has been inspirational. It's been educational, especially for me as a new leader. Being able to talk to people that have been in the field for 20 or 30 years is really great to hear about their experiences, know that I'm not alone in my experiences, and that we can share and learn from each other. It's been great. And so I think to take part of that forward is I'm just going to know, I guess, anytime that I'm going through a situation that there's other people I can turn to. These are people that I know I can contact, not just now, but after the program is done, I can go back and contact them and know that we'll have something good to talk about, both back and forth, a good relationship, not just me getting from them, but they can probably gather from me too, which is really nice to know that I can help teach as well, even though I'm younger than all the rest. So just to know that there's other people out there that we can turn to and other people we can learn from is a really great takeaway.
I think as a result of the class, I will listen more. We were talking this morning about, the impact that it's had. And I think I see now my role as more helping others to exceed, giving them the tools to do it rather than doing it for them. Working on team, trying to grow leaders on site.
Great. Anything else that you'd like to share with us?
No.
Okay, thank you.
How'd I do?
Project was to develop productivity standards within our organization. We often wonder, how productive is a department or how productive is an individual. And without standards, you really don't know. One of the greatest things about my individual project is in working with the department managers within my organization. the awareness that I have received or that I've gained that they view me as a leader. And prior to this project, I really wasn't aware of that. So to have that awareness has helped me as an individual grow within my position.
Leading for Life has taught me to look deeper into everyday interactions with other staff members in particular, past the department manager level, but into the line staff level, to observe families who are making observations or suggestions, to look at residents and their passions through resident council. Also, what do they need and want and desire in their home, that we're providing them. So I want to learn more about how I can empower the different groups and the different, they're not customers anymore, they're people. How can we empower them to have that fullest, expression of life in our center? Center is a very important word to me now. Community means something different to me now than when I started the Leading for Life.
Well, it's had a tremendous impact. I think, like you said, it's so much more than I had expected. I kind of initially pictured entering this class. We sit in the classroom like you do in college or whatever for 5 hours out of the day, and you have someone speaking to you, and that was the extent of the class. But it's been so interactive. The group discussions are great. The topics are great. Chad is a wonderful presenter and is so good at helping everyone become involved in the conversation, and also those he brings in as presenters as well have been just tremendous. And I think as far as the other projects, the group project has been wonderful to it, as we all know, the negative connotations, and thoughts people have about long-term care. And it really helps people understand the wonderful things going on out there.
There are just a number of things that I feel I've changed in since starting the class. I think, however, the most profound impact that it's had on me was the session on being a servant leader. It was great information, as always. To hear the classes have been wonderful, but that topic really touched me. And it allowed me to use the information and then bring it back to our facility and use it with our staff that we supervise that are in management positions or leadership positions, especially working for a nonprofit, Christian-based organization. I just really identified with that, and a lot of the information made sense, and it was just that session was worth the entire year. It was great.
I look at things differently. I look at them from the perspective of my employees and what I do, how that impacts them. Leading by example. Servant leadership was a big one.
Well, I think it's made me more aware of what I need to do to encourage our staff. And then also, I'm just really thankful for our residents and just what they can bring to our life. And it's just amazing, even from dementia to this lady that, independent, but she's they're helping their family, and just, I guess, the leadership skills that I thought I was, lacking or missing. I've developed some of those skills and more assertive and dealing with conflict and those type of things. It's helped.
Well, we were actually just in there talking about what we're going to take away and what we're going to try to remember. And there's several learning tools or bits of information that we've learned in the class that are so applicable to everyday work, that what I actually said was, these are things I have to take the time to remember. I have to bring these back. I have to, be mindful of how I'm presenting myself to staff. And it's just very, very nice to have that year where we have one day a month to really kind of recollect and focus and think of, what are we really doing? What are we here for? How can we improve the facility?
Every class that I came to, which is roughly every month, I would take what was learned and what was gathered from that class and bring it back to my office, and pretty much roll that out to my staff. There were so many wonderful presentations that were given during the Leading for Life. There's so much more that we do every day that we incorporate into our everyday practices. Some of those things we're just as mindful of the leadership that we do, the servant leadership that we do, the organization of how we are as a whole. One thing that I really liked was the mindfulness of the leadership. One thing that I'm aware of a lot more is everything that I do and how that affects my staff and how that rolls out to good customer service for the clients that we help. It's amazing. Just little things that we do that is meant